Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the Gentle Yoga Practice. This week, we're focusing on the theme of faith. Every week, we find a new theme to help us go inward and really give meaning behind our practice. And hopefully that translates into everything we do. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by just finding a nice seat, whatever that might look like for you. So it might be that your legs are out a little bit. You could even be in this kind of diamond shape, whatever, or you could be sitting up on something, whatever works in your body. So we'll just take the hands for a moment and notice, can you curl your spine back for a moment and then sit up? And then the energy that it takes to sit up is subtle but really important. So we tune into pelvic floor, and that just means all the muscles that you're just sitting on, engage them. And we call that mula bandha, which means root lock. It's your root. So a little above that, below the navel, like right below the belly button, actually pull in and up. And that energy allows a flying upward feeling. So we have mula, the root, Uddiyana, flying upward bandha, and then at the top of the spine, we can draw the chin down, and we call that Jalandhara bandha, or chin lock. And so with all of the bandhas engaged, you have the support from inside. Maybe you can release the hands and just tune into your breath. So we'll focus on the inhalations, really filling up the rib cage. Exhalation, feel the rib cage relax. And notice, are there any restrictions, or can you really fill up with breath? And exhale, bringing you to this relaxed state of focus, right? Inhale. And then we'll take the hands together at Anjali Mudra, right by the heart. And we'll vibrate in the mantra, with the mantra Om, which is all the sounds of the universe. Om. So taking the hands together, inhale. Faith is a place of mystery, where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of our fear of uncertainty. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Accept what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. Faith, for me, it's trusting this journey that getting up in the morning and getting on the mat is going to take us further in our practice and into that state of calmness and ease. So let's go ahead and start. If you're not in this position already, let's just take the feet out and use your hands for a moment and see if you can sit up tall. And just notice you have those bandhas supporting you, right? The inner locks. And maybe take the hands down to the side and just kind of reinforce that. Now, can you take your hands behind your head here and just open the elbows? Push your head back into your hands so that it's long on your spine. A lot of us have a tendency to have our head a little forward. So you can use the hands to kind of lift up, pull the belly in. And now we're going to draw the elbows together, and you can allow your spine to round forward. Just gently. I'm not pulling on my head. It's just weight on my head. And then inhale, stacking the spine and sitting up and really opening. And then exhale, pull the belly in, and you can round the spine a little forward. And then inhale and rise up and really open. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, pull the belly in, the shoulders are down. And then inhale, the shoulders are still down, but I feel this sense of widening. And now from here, we're going to take the right hand down, and then we're going to take a side bend to the right. So as you do this, keeping the left hand supporting the head, you're going to pull the right shoulder away from your ear, drop this left elbow, and turn to face your hands for a moment. And just notice what's going on there. Now, keeping your right shoulder away from your right ear and the elbow a little down, you start to open. And then exhale, go back down. I'm feeling a nice stretch on that left side of that left shoulder blade. Inhale, open. Find an inhalation here. Pushing your head back into your hand. Exhale, come over. And then one more. Inhale and rise up. And then from here we'll come up. We'll do the other side. So push the head back into the hand so the head's not forward. You're really lifting up. The elbow can drop and it's like you're pulling this left arm in. The left shoulder is drawing down, curl down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, really pulling your shoulders away from your ears. And inhale, opening up. And one more. Exhale, go over. Shoulders are down. Inhale, up and open. I'm pressing my head back into my hand. And then I rise up. Now we're going to take it into the side bend. So let's reach the left arm up this time. Really, you elevate, but feel the shoulder from the back rolling out. So it's external rotation. And then we take a nice side bend. You can pull that right shoulder away from your right ear as you side bend. We'll look down for a moment. Inhale, exhale, and then start to change your gaze. And then inhale, keeping the head back. Right? Maybe your gaze goes up, even though it's down the nose. Maybe it's a little up, or maybe it's straight ahead. And then we rise up. We'll go to the other side. So reaching up, but from the back of your shoulder, roll it away from your ear. So it's an external rotation. And then you come over, really pulling that left shoulder away from the left ear. And then from there, you can drop your head down, take a couple breaths, and then start to inhale as you look up, but your head is back and you're turning, you're gazing down the nose, but still upward. And then inhale and rise up. Let's do both arms now. Inhale and exhale. So this is moving with breath. You're allowing the breath to take you deeper. Now we're going to take a twist. So let's take the right hand to the outside of the right knee and the left hand behind you. And you're turning from the ribs. The head can follow. If this feels good and you want to go deeper, you could move your hand. And just a gentle twist. And now inhale, reach up. Exhale, turning to the right. So you can take your left hand to the inside of the left knee. Roll that right shoulder open. Lift up and turn. Turning from the ribs, and then the head follows. Maybe you want to take your hand to the other knee. And then inhale here, reaching up and down. And now we're going to make our way to all fours. So you could just take your legs to the side and come to all fours. And we're going to go through some cat-cows. I'm going to use a couple blocks in this section, but it's optional. It just gives you a little bit more height. It's kind of fun to try sometimes. Let's go ahead and round the spine. I like to tuck my toes under. It makes me feel like I'm lifting higher. It's just a feeling. And I'm really widening across my back and stretching here. And then inhale, start to come forward and you can arch your back. Let's do that again. Exhale and really pull the belly in and lift up, shoulders away from your ears. And then inhale, start to come forward and arch, leading with the sternum. And then exhale, round. And then let's take this into a nice long child's pose. So reach the butt back and down, reach your arms forward and really just lengthen here. It's okay if your butt doesn't go to your heels. Mine doesn't. I'm just being kind to my knees. Reach, really reach the arms and find that external rotation in the upper arm. Breathe. That just means they're rolling away from your ears. And then inhale, rising up. And from here, let's go ahead and come down to the elbows. So we'll come down to the elbows, making our way down to Sphinx pose. So just take a moment here and notice what's going on with this lower body, right? You don't want your butt to be sticking out and a lot of tension in the low back. We want to try and get length there. So visualize the tail curling under. It's like the pubic bone is coming up towards your heart. And then once you have that established and the legs are nice and strong, it's like you're pushing your feet down, widen across your sternum. It almost feels like you're pulling your hands apart. And just pause here And maybe just stay here if this feels good. Or if you want to take it deeper, we'll come into Cobra. You don't have to straighten your arms, but if you can, that's nice. Rolling your shoulders down and wide. The tail stays under. Make sure you're not crunching into that back. And you might want to take a little journey here with your head. Just finding a nice back bend, nice and supported, and slowly coming down. Now we'll make our way back to all fours. So we come to the knees. Now this is where I'm going to use the blocks because it gives me even more height. And we're going to be working towards down dog and coming up to the front of the mat. So coming onto all fours, but it's okay if you don't have them, that's fine. Let's go ahead and round the spine again and just feel that height. Just see if you notice that. And then inhale, start to come forward and arch. And then one more time, round the spine. And let's take this into a downward facing dog. So the knees start to hover off and we take it back. Now, if you go really long, it's going to be harder to get the heels down. So find a distance that's working in your body, right? You can bend the knees, and it's okay if the heels stay up, that's fine. But I want you to really reach with those arms. So I don't want the body to be forward, really reaching. So again, you're elevating the shoulders. And what I say is external rotation. So feel the back of the shoulder, like feel them roll away from your ears. Maybe your feet have to be wide for this. That's okay. And a couple bending, like times to bend and straighten is really nice. Take a moment to pull your belly in. We don't want to really push the belly out. There's no support for the back that way. So really pull it in. And then let's slowly start to walk up. And you don't have to come all the way, right? Just come to where you can. You can bend the knees even here for a moment and just let your body hang. You could even grab the elbows and just let the neck be loose and free. And then we're going to slowly roll up to stand. So release the hands. You could bend the knees and stack the spine, one vertebra at a time, really pulling the belly in to assist with that. Pulling in, rising up. Shoulders go down and wide. And then we're going to step everything together. We call this Samasthiti. So the hands are in Anjali Mudra, right at your heart, right? And then just close your eyes for a moment and notice how you're standing, right? Whoa, it feels a little wobbly when you close your eyes. So find a focus down the nose and straight ahead, and then just start to engage your legs. So your feet could be hip width, a little wider, right? And just breathing for a moment, really pulling the floor in, feeling the energy in your legs. Notice, can you find a neutral pelvis? Is your butt sticking out? Or are you too far forward? Just find that place of total support. And then we're gonna do what's called a sun breath. So we'll inhale here, really reach the arms up, big opening. Exhale, fold. You could bend your knees, that's totally fine. Put your hands down and fold in. And then inhale, lengthen, and we're gonna rise back up again. So you could bend your knees if you needed to, but try and get your spine nice and lengthened here. And then we'll exhale. Let's take the hands in prayer position. We'll do one more and it'll take us down. So inhale, moving with breath. Exhale, start to come over with a flat back. You could bend your knees if you needed to get to that place. Take the hands down and fold. And now we're gonna come back to down dog. So inhale, look up and lengthen, and just walk back. And see if you can reach back. Maybe you're a little bit more open. Can you really get your chest closer to your legs? The shoulders are elevated, but they're rolling away from your ears. And then we'll come back down to the floor. And from here now, we're nice and open. We'll come into a nice back bend. So we can walk the blocks forward. Of course, you don't need blocks, right? It gives you a little bit more height. And try to keep your hips a little bit more over your knees. And then just come down with your chest. See how that feels. Your toes could be tucked or they could be pointed, whatever felt better in your body. But reach those shoulders and roll them away from your ears. And breathe. And then inhale, start to rise up. And now we're gonna find our way to seated. So there were some nice back bends in there. So let's take a nice gentle surrendering into a forward bend. So we'll just take the blocks, maybe here and here, whatever works in your body, and just let your head come down. But first, make sure your spine is lengthened in your low back. So lift way up. You could even sit on a blanket or a block. And then wherever that is, you hinge forward, wherever that low back can maintain that length. And then you let the head come down. And if this is feeling good, you don't need that block. At any point, you could change it. Maybe you could grab your feet. Maybe you're here. Maybe your knees are a little bent. That's okay. But just do your best and breathe and just release. Just get a sense of release. Inhaling and exhaling. And then inhale, let's rise up. So hopefully that was restorative and nice, right? And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and bend the knees. Bend the knees. And just take your hands from behind and sit way up. You can use the assistance of your hands here. And exhale, start to take your tail under and curl back. And then inhale and rise up. And then again, exhale, curl back. Inhale, rise up. And now we're gonna take it all the way down to the floor. So we're gonna go down, exhale, see if you can straighten your legs and start to curl your spine. You could use your hands here. We're taking it all the way down to the floor. So curling and coming down and pause here. And now we're gonna bend the knees and let's come into a nice articulating bridge. So it's a little bit, it is a back bend, but it's a little, we're gonna take a gentle approach to it. So tuck the tail under. I think of this as a nice supported spine stretch. It's also working the back of the legs. Lift up. Make sure your neck is nice and long, chin not down, chin is not up. It's nice and neutral. And then inhale. This is the part that's nice, I think. Reach the arms over the head. Maybe you could walk your feet in more. Maybe it feels good in your body to lift your heels. And then curl and come down. So you're really trying to articulate. Pull the belly way in and reach the arms and curl to come down. Pull that belly way in, curling down, and then let the arms come down. Let's do that again. So tuck the tail under, lift up, reach the arms. If you want to, you could lift the heels to get a little bit more height, lengthening in the neck. Slow, slow. Let your spine unwind. Start to come down, curling and coming down. And then from here, let's go ahead and just draw the right knee in. Just draw that knee in. Lengthen the leg up to the ceiling. Let's just do a few of these. Bend and straighten. If you wanted to, you could straighten the left leg, but if that was hard, you could just keep the knee bent and straighten and hold. Shoulders back, just feeling the release of the hamstrings, the back of the leg, and slowly letting that leg come down. And now we'll do the other side. So bend the left leg and straighten. And let's do that a few times. And straighten. And one more time. And straighten. Again, you could have this leg stretched out if you wanted to get the hip flexors, but if that wasn't accessible, keep it bent. And let's slowly lower that leg down. And now let's take the legs into a Baddha Konasana, bound angular position, and just open the knees out to the side. And from here, let's make this restorative. Reach the arms. Notice you don't want your ribs popping out too much. So lengthen the back of your neck, relax the ribs down, and try to easily open the knees. You could rock back and forth. Just notice what that feels like. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Find a place where you can just stay and open and breathe. and have faith that everything is worth it. It's worth it to practice. And then let's go ahead and let the legs come up. And we'll take it into a nice glute stretch. So as best you can, crossing your right ankle over your left knee. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you can pull in. Trying to open that right knee as much as you can. Trying to relax your upper body as much as you can. I know for some people, you might be up a little, but that's okay. Just make sure the shoulders are down. And then we'll slowly come down. We'll take this into a twist. So let's take the legs over to the left. Maybe you take your gaze to the right. Maybe it's straight up. And then inhale here. We'll bring it back up and we'll take it to the other side. So as you come over, you might want to lift the butt up, scooch a little to the left. And then with your right ankle, kind of pull this left knee down and maybe gaze over the left shoulder straight up. But just breathe. And then inhale, we'll come up, we'll do the other side, crossing the left ankle over the right knee, pulling in, and gently trying to open that left knee. And if you do find that your body is up, just make sure your shoulders are relaxed and there's no tension in your neck. And then come down. Let's take the legs over to the right. The left foot touches the floor. Breathing. You can gaze over your left shoulder maybe, or maybe you're straight up. Couple more breaths. Inhale here. Coming up, you can lift up and shift to the right a little. With your left ankle, you're pulling your right knee down. Feels like a nice stretch on the side of this hip. And maybe your gaze goes to the right. And then inhale, comes up. Let's go ahead and pull everything in. No tension in the neck. And then exhale, just release into Shavasana. So in this Shavasana, you can just completely have faith that this practice is serving you. You're so open and you can just stay here in this place of peace as long as you want or can. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So slowly just start moving fingers and toes as you become aware of your breath. And then you can slowly bend the knees. Maybe come to your side in a fetal position and pause. And make your way up to seated. And whatever position, again, feels good in your body, just take a moment here and notice the effects of the practice on the body today, but also in the mind. Like, where is that faith in the journey? And after practice, it's always reaffirming that it was all worth it. And take it into whatever you do. Namaste.